When is the right time to pivot as a freelancer? Meaning expand your skills into a different area, adjust slightly, or change your focus entirely. Now, there is no such thing as the perfect time. Some of the obvious reasons are you're not getting as many clients as you once did, business is slowing, and those are kind of negative signals that it's time to go in a different direction. And it's not negative meaning you're bad for being in that circumstance. That happens to many of us at different points in freelancing. But I'd encourage you to pay attention to some of the proactive signals that it may be time to slightly or significantly pivot your practice as a freelancer. So one of them is paying attention to kind of the larger economic conditions in your market, your industry, in your country, and understanding what ebbs and flows are happening holistically. Another consideration is following other thought leaders and professionals and practitioners in your space, and not all of them, but coming up with like a select circle that you follow and trying to understand what are they saying is coming in the future, and seeing what they've tested out and experimented with and are considering, and seeing how it applies to your circumstances. So you're paying attention to larger trends in the overarching market, being mindful of what's happening in your industry through the direction of other thought leaders, other voices and perspectives. And then most of all, you have to test what's out there. Test new channels, new opportunities, new technology, new ways of thinking, set up different systems to experiment and see what does and doesn't fit with your approach, your perspective, your practice. There's no perfect way to identify when it's time to pivot, but you won't know unless you try, unless you start to make tiny experiments with lower risk to ensure that you're seeing what the available options are and seeing what might end up expanding into something much more significant. So those are some of the positive signals to be paying attention to as a freelancer and considering where to pivot. This is all from an interview I just did on my LinkedIn profile with my Career Freelancer newsletter. It's an interview of Martin Waxman. He's a digital marketing expert, an AI enthusiast, and an adjunct instructor at numerous universities. And he's been freelancing for 30 plus years, and he's pivoted multiple times along the way. And he shares some of the same great insights that I just went over about how to pivot, what signals to listen to, which signals are hype versus major opportunities. So go check that out over on my LinkedIn.